Good morning, students. Say your prayer. Good. நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்தமுறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்தமுறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்தமுறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book. Take page number 257. So today's class we will discuss about the Human Rights Commission and also the child rights. So first we will discuss about the National Human Rights Commission, then the State Human Rights Commission, then the child rights. So what are the rights should be enjoyed by the children? Okay, so the child rights. So today's class we will discuss about them. So recall what we discussed in our previous class. So in our previous class we discussed about the fundamental rights. So what are the 6 basic fundamental rights enjoyed as per the Constitution of India? Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of conscience and religion, cultural and educational rights for minorities, then right to constitutional remedies. So these are the fundamental rights so provided to the citizen of India by the Constitution of India, so passed in the year 1950. Then we discussed about the fundamental duties. So the fundamental duties was incorporated in the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. So how many fundamental duties are there? 11 fundamental duties are there. So we have discussed about the fundamental rights and fundamental duties in our previous class. Okay, so today we will move to next topics. So National Human Rights Commission, then the State Human Rights Commission, and we will discuss about their functions, then the child rights. So the National Human Rights Commission, it is an autonomous body. So autonomous means able to govern itself or control its own affairs. So autonomous means able to govern itself, able to control its own affairs. So the National Human Rights Commission is an autonomous body constituted on 12th October 1993 under the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. So the National Human Rights Commission, it is an autonomous body, so formed, so constituted. So constituted means, so gave the constitution status. Constituted on 12th October 1993 under the protection, under the control of Human Rights Act 1993. It consists of a chairman and a few other members. So National Human Rights Commission, so consists of a chairman and a few other members. So 3 were elected from judiciary and 4 from other department. So 3 from judiciary and 4 from other department. So NHRC, National Human Rights Commission, is responsible for protection and promotion of human rights in India. So NHRC is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in India. So defined by the Act. So the Human Rights Act defined the rights relating to life, liberty, equality and dignity of the individual, which was guaranteed by the Constitution or embodied in the International Human Rights Commission, so International Declaration of Human Rights. So the function, so the duty of NHRC is to protect the human rights, so protect and promote the human rights in India, so which is defined in the Act, so Human Rights Protection Act 1993 and also in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So the headquarters of the National Human Rights Commission is located at New Delhi. So the headquarters of the main office, so the head office of the National Human Rights Commission is located at New Delhi. So National Human Rights Commission is an autonomous body constituted on 12th October 1993. It consists of a chairman and a few other members. So 3 from judiciary and 4 from other department. Its main duty is to protect and promote the human rights in India as per the Human Rights Act of 1993 and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights Act. Okay, its headquarters is situated at New Delhi. So functions of NHRC. So what are the functions of NHRC? To inquire. So inquiry means to ask somebody for some information. So to inquire into the violation of human rights or negligence in the prevention of such violence by a public servant. So to inquire about the violation of human rights or negligence in the prevention of such violation by a public servant. So public servant, a government officer. So he have to protect the human rights. Suppose if there is any violation of human rights, or suppose the public servant so avoid to take or avoid to prevent such violation means then the NHRC inquire about it. Then to intervene in court proceedings relating to human rights. So to intervene means to become involved in a situation in order to improve or help it. So intervene means to become involved in a situation in order to improve or help it. So to intervene, so to involved in the court proceedings relating to human rights. To undertake and promote research in the field of human rights. So to undertake and promote research in the field of human rights. Then to engage, so to support human rights education or promote human rights education among the various sections of the society. Then to encourage the effect of NGOs, so non-governmental organizations and institutions working in the field of human rights. So first they inquire about the violation of human rights, and they inquire the public servant who failed to prevent such violation. Then to involve in the court proceedings relating to human rights. Then to undertake and promote research in the field of human rights. Then to encourage, so to engage human rights education among various sections of the society. Then to encourage the effect of NGOs and institutions who are working in the field of human rights. So these are the functions of NHRC, National Human Rights Commission. Then the State Human Rights Commission. So every state in India has a State Human Rights Commission established in accordance with the power conferred on the state under the section 21 of the Protection of Human Rights Act. So every state in India has a State Human Rights Commission. It was established under the section 21 of the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. So the protection and the promotion of human rights constitute the principal concern of the Commission. So the State Human Rights Commission, their main duty is to protect and promote the human rights in their state. Moreover, the procedure adopted by the Commission to conduct its proceeding, the suo motu. So suo motu means on its own motion in Latin. So taken on complaints regardless of the sources received, and the transparency. So transparency means it can be known to all. So transparency of the proceedings of the SHRC added strength to its functioning in a state. So the office of the Human Rights Commission in Tamil Nadu is located at Chennai. So as like that of NHRC, so each state have their own Human Rights Commission. So State Human Rights Commission, which was formed under the section 21 of the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. So their duty is to protect and promote the human rights activities in their state. So they add strength to the state. So their functions, the SHRC functions add strength to its state. So the office of the State Human Rights Commission of Tamil Nadu is located in Chennai. Then functions of SHRC. So SHRC as like that of NHRC. So they shall inquire into violation of human rights in respect of matters specified in the state under concurrent list. So concurrent means so the common subject for both the central and state government. Its objective and duties are same as NHRC, but it is confined only to the state. It has a chairman and 2 members. So the SHRC, so their objectives and duties as like that of NHRC, but it is applicable only to the respective state. It has a chairman and 2 members. It has the power of a civil court. So SHRC has the power of a civil court and can take cognizance. So cognizance means knowledge or understanding of something. So it has the power of a civil court and can take cognizance. So cognizance means knowledge or understanding of something. So can take cognizance of cases if received or in suo motu. Suo motu means on its own. It can also recommend compensation to the victims. It can also recommend compensation. So compensation, something especially money that somebody gives you because they have hurt you or damaged something that you want. So compensation means so something like amount, so paid by another person to you. So because they hurt you or they damaged your property. So it can also, so SHRC can also recommend compensation to the victims. So these are the functions of State Human Rights Commission, and also we discussed the functions of National Human Rights Commission. Then child rights. So apart from the fundamental rights described by the Constitution, we have to ensure, so we have to make sure certain other rights. So apart from the fundamental rights, so which was described by the Constitution, we have to make sure certain other rights. So first one, the child right. So child, who is a child? So child is a person who has not completed the age of 18 years. That is a minor as per UNO. So child means a person who have not completed 18 years of age. So he is treated as a child. So this principle is exhibited in Articles 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. So how many articles are there? 30. In that Article 25 says that a child is a person who has not completed the age of 18 years. So there are some principles. So based on these principles, the Declaration of the Rights of the Child was accepted and adopted in the UN General Assembly on 20th November 1989. So based on the principles which was mentioned in the Article 25, so the Declaration of the Right of Child was accepted and adopted. So adopted means it was accepted. So it was signed by the members of the UN General Assembly on 20th November 1989. So what are the rights so declared to the children? So right to life, right to family environment, right to education, right to benefit from social security, right against sexual exploitation, right against sale or trafficking, right against other form of exploitation like child labor. So what are the rights enjoyed by the children? So right to life, right to family environment, right to education, right to benefit from social security, right against sexual exploitation, right against sale or trafficking. So trafficking means to move people illegally, especially in order to make them work in bad condition without proper payment. So trafficking means to move people in an illegal way, so in order to make them work in a bad condition. Then right against other forms of exploitation like child labor. So these are the rights provided to children. So we will discuss one by one. Right to life. See, a child has the right to survive even before its birth. So that's why, before birth itself, the child, when he was in his mother's womb, he was given or provided with nutritious food. So a child has the right to survive even before its birth. So the right to survival also includes the right to be born, the right to basic needs of food, shelter and clothing, and a dignified living. So dignify means to make somebody or something seem impressive. So dignify means to make somebody impressive. So a child has the right to survive even before its birth. So the child has the right to survival. So it includes the right to be born. So the child has the right to born. So the right to basic needs. So the right to get the basic needs like food, shelter and clothing and a dignified living. So every child has this right even before its birth. Then right to family environment. A child has the right to live a normal childhood in a family environment. So a child has the right to live in a normal childhood in a family environment. Child who have been left destitute. So destitute without money, food or other things necessary for life. So a child who have been left destitute, abandoned or orphaned. So orphaned means if we had no parents. Also have the right to live. So also have the right to live. So these children can be given for adoption to caring families. So children, they have the right to live a normal childhood in a family environment. But the children, who have been left destitute or abandoned. So abandoned means avoided. So by their family or orphaned. So orphaned means if their parents is no more. So they also have the right to live. So these children can be given for adoption to caring families. Then right to benefit from social security. So children should get financial support from the country when their parents or guardians are unable to provide them with a good standard of living by themselves due to any illness, disability or old age. So right to benefit from social security. That means children should get financial support from the country when their parents or guardians are unable to provide them with a good standard of life. So because due to any illness, disability or old age. So that's why our government gave a lot of support to children. So they provide free education. So they provide a lot of things to promote education. Yeah. So the children should get financial support from the country when their parents or guardians are unable to provide them with a good standard of living by themselves due to any illness, due to any disease or disability. So if they are handicapped, so like that. So due to disability or due to their old age. Yeah. So the children have their right to get benefit from the society. Then the right to education. So Right to Education Act is an act of the Parliament of India enacted in 2009 for free and compulsory education for children from 6 to 14 years of age as under Article 21A of the Constitution. So Right to Education. So it is an important act passed by the Parliament of India in 2009. So it says that the children who is between 6 to 14 years should get free and compulsory education. So it was inserted as Article 21A of the Constitution. So that is the right to education. So every children who is who have the age between 6 to 14 years, so have the right to get free and compulsory education. Okay, so in your book they mention about Malala, so who is from Pakistan. So she was very interested in getting education, but she was shot by an Afghan terrorist. But later she escaped. But later she rescued from that incident, who took treatment in the hospital in Birmingham in England. So after months of surgeries, she joined in her new family and new home in United Kingdom. She fought bravely for the education for women, for education for children, especially for the girl child. So for that she won Nobel Prize. So do you know about her? So Malala, so Nobel Peace Prize laureate, so Nobel Peace Prize winner. She gave importance to education for children. So the right of children to free and compulsory education, RT Act passed in 2009, means that every children has a right to formal elementary education. So formal elementary means so basic education. So that is from 1 to 8. So first standard to 8th standard. This right of children provides free and compulsory education till the completion of elementary education in a neighborhood school. So in a nearby school. So the child need not pay any kind of fee for completing elementary education. So the child should need not to pay any kind of fees, any kind of amount. So it is in government school. So not in private institutions. So the child need not to pay any kind of fee for completing elementary education. So the right of children to free and compulsory education, RTA Act 2009, means that every child has a right to get the formal elementary education. So this right of children provides free and compulsory education till the completion of elementary education in a neighborhood school. So the child need not pay any kind of fee for completing elementary education. Then right against sale or trafficking of children. So traffic, so to move people illegally, so to move children illegally, especially in order to make them work in a bad condition without proper payment. So children should be treated as individuals with fundamental human rights. So children, they should be treated as an individual person, so with basic fundamental human rights. So children are vulnerable. So vulnerable means so weak and easily hurt physically or emotionally. So vulnerable means so they are weak. So they are physically and emotionally they are weak. So there are root causes such as poverty, gender discrimination, broken families, etc. behind the sale or trafficking of children. So children are vulnerable. So they are emotionally and physically weak. So the root causes for the trafficking of children was poverty, then gender discrimination. So discrimination, differentiation. Then broken families. So this was the root cause. So behind the sale or trafficking of children. So children are subjected to sale or trafficking for various reasons. So like economic exploitation, sexual abuse, drug trafficking and child labor. So why children were trafficked? So subjected to traffic means so because of the various situations, poverty, gender discrimination, broken families. And they were subjected to trafficking for various reasons: sexual exploitation, sexual abuse, drug trafficking and child labor. So there is an application called as Kavalan SOS launched by the government of Tamil Nadu for public use during emergencies. So it helped not only children but also for the women. So common an application by the Tamil Nadu police. Then right against sexual exploitation. So the state should protect children from sexual exploitation and abuse when they were forced or persuaded to take part in sexual activities physically or mentally. So right against sexual exploitation. So exploitation means a situation in which somebody treats somebody in an unfair way, especially in order to make money from their work. So exploitation means a situation in which somebody treats somebody in an unfair way in order to make money from their work. Okay, so sexual exploitation. So the state should protect children from sexual exploitation and abuse, and when they were forced or persuaded, when they were forced to take part in sexual activities physically or mentally. So there is an act called as POCSO Act. So often you heard in news. So POCSO means Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. And the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. It regards the best interest of children as being an paramount importance at every stage. So as per this act, POCSO Act, the child who was below the 18 years of age have to be given a healthy life. So physically, emotional, intellectual and social development in the children. When the abuse is committed by a person in a position of a trust or authority, like a family member or any other acquaintance, the statement of the children is recorded as the child explains. The child need not to be called repeatedly or testify. Then the punishment. So they mention about the punishment. So POCSO Act, important act for the protection of children. So it protects the children from sexual exploitation. Then another one. So there is a emergency number for children. So emergency phone service for children. So often you have noticed in your traveling time. So in bus, in public transport. So 1098. So 1098. So India's first 24 hours free emergency phone service for children. So 1098. So shortly they mention as 1098. Then right against other form of exploitation like child labor. So children are often employed in several industries. So children are often employed in several industries. So these children are deprived. So deprived means to prevent something from having something. So to prevent somebody from having something that you need. So these children are deprived of their childhood, health and education. So the children, so they can't enjoy the childhood life. So and health and education. So this will lead to a life of poverty and want. So these children are made to work in industries like glass, matchbox, lock making factories, rag picking, carpet making industries, bead rolling, mining, stone quarrying, brick kilns and tea gardens. So these children, so the child laborers, they were forced to work in glass, matchbox, lock making factories, rag picking, then carpet making industry, bead rolling, mining, stone quarrying, brick kilns and tea gardens, etc. So work is mostly gender specific, with the girls performing more home based work while boys employed as waged labor. Since these children work in agriculture field, restaurant, motor repair workshop and home based industries, elimination of child labor remains a challenge. So the child labor work is mostly based on gender specific. So girls were given preference to home-based work, while boys employed as waged labor. So girls, so they mostly prefer to work in. So they were forced to work in home-based work. But the boys, so they were forced to work as a waged labor. So the children worked in agriculture field, restaurant, motor repair works, and home-based industries. The elimination of child labor remains a challenge. So the findings of international survey reveals that children with disabilities are of 3.4% more sexually abused than normal children. So the findings of international survey explains that the children with disabilities were sexually abused more than normal children. Okay. Then they mention about Kailash Satyarthi. So was a Nobel Peace Prize recipient, and he was the founder of Bachpan Bachao Andolan. Yeah. So he recovered 86,000 children in India from slavery and trafficking and child labor. So an 18,000 kilometer long global march against child labor was led by Kailash in 1998, which turned the world attention towards the issue of child labor. He received a Nobel Prize for Peace in the year 2014. So they also mention about this also. Okay, okay students, so today's class we discussed about Human Rights Commission, so National Human Rights Commission and State Human Rights Commission. Then we discussed about the child rights, so which was explained in the UN General Assembly, yes, which was adopted and accepted by the UN General Assembly on 20th November 1989. So right to life, right to family environment, right to education, right to benefit from social security, right against sexual exploitation, right against sale or trafficking, right against other form of exploitation like child labor. Then we discussed about Malala Yousaf, then Kailash Satyarthi. So in Indian Constitution, so the child rights are mentioned in Article 24 and 45. Article 24, as per Article 24, no child below the age of 14 must be employed in hazardous employment. Then Article 45, so free and compulsory education for all children until they attain the age of 14 years. So Article 24 and Article 45. Okay students, take your book. Take page number 258, textbook reading. So read the heading, right to life, right to family environment, then right to benefit from social security, right to education. Also read that the box content about Malala and the right side, top heading, Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. Okay, then homework. So take page number 264. So fourth round letter, third question, then fifth question. So third question, page number 258. Fifth question, page number 260. So third question, take page number 258. So see the heading, child rights. In that 7 point. So right to life, right to family environment. Is there no? That 7 point. Answer for third question. Then fifth question, take page number 260. So that box, so there is a small child, no? Image of child. Yeah. So POCSO Act. In that fourth line, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 regards the best interest of the child as being of paramount importance at every stage. Then second point, the Act defines a child as any person below 18 years of age to ensure the healthy physical, emotional, intellectual and social development of the child. So this is the answer for fifth question. So write it in your homework note and read it well. So thank you. Have a nice day.